You're watching the Kansas City Chiefs Report. I am Harrison Graham from Chat Sports, and it is mailbag time. So load up those questions by using hashtag Chiefs or by super chatting, and I'll answer as many as I can over the next 10 or 12 minutes. Young Craze first up here. Can Mahomes win MVP and Super Bowl MVP? Yeah, he can. It's certainly possible. He's top 5 in the betting odds for regular season MVP. Obviously, if they make the Super Bowl and the Chiefs win it, it's almost a foregone conclusion that he will win it because Super Bowl MVP more often than not now is just the winning quarterback, just because quarterbacks do so much these days. So, yeah, it's possible, Young Craze. Is it likely that he would win both? Of course not. I mean, as special as he is, and I do think he's the best player in the league, it's still going to be hard to win regular season and Super Bowl MVP. You got to get to the Super Bowl to just even win that second one. So we'll have to wait and see. But I do think he's going to be in the mix for the regular season one, and hopefully he's in the mix for the last one, because that means the Chiefs go on a deep playoff run. Tony Fuentes, will Mahomes and Brady meet again in the Super Bowl? Maybe, and if they do, you hope it's not like last time, because remember last time in the regular season the Chiefs beat the Bucs, but then they lost to them in the Super Bowl. You don't want history to repeat itself. So I would say this: if they play the Bucs again, I'm sure the Bucs would make some adjustments, and it wouldn't be as easy as it was the other night. But yeah, it's possible. I do think the Bucs have some flaws. They can't run the football right now. Their offensive line has been banged up. Tom Brady is still good, but I don't think he's quite what he was last year. So yes, it could happen, but the Bucs have some work to do, and obviously the Chiefs have to make their way through the AFC as well. She loves Larry with the question, what wide receiver do you see us signing in the future? I mean, obviously people are going to keep asking me about Odell Beckham Jr. Could he be a guy that the Chiefs add, November for a stretch run and have another weapon for the playoffs? He certainly made a big difference for the LA Rams last year in their Super Bowl victory. Got hurt in the Super Bowl, but at NFC title game, he made a huge impact to help get them there. So he's a name to monitor. I think it probably would be more trade market if they end up adding another receiver if it's not Odell Beckham, but I could see Brett Veach pulling the trigger before the trade deadline. Kate Chappell, do you think we need to invest in a 4 or 5-star wide receiver next year's draft? I mean, I don't know what you mean in 4 or 5-star, like high school rating, I guess, but if you mean like a big-time receiver, like, yeah, I could see the Chiefs drafting one. McCole Hardman, free agent. Juju Smith-Schuster, free agent. You're going to have Sky Moore and Marquez Valdez-Scantling under contract going into next year. I definitely think there's a good chance one of Hardman or Juju will return. Bringing both back seems unlikely just because I could see one of them leaving for more money. But, yeah, I think drafting receiver next year is very much a possibility. AJ, should the Chiefs trade for Robert Quinn? I could see the Robert Quinn trade rumors start to heat up again. Bears with a pretty poor loss to the Giants on Sunday. They're now 2-2. Let's say some losses stack up in Chicago. I could see Bears GM Ryan Poles, former Chiefs front office member, shop Robert Quinn, try and get some draft capital. And while the Chiefs front has been good at times, they haven't generated consistent pressure, and adding a guy like Robert Quinn to that rotation certainly couldn't hurt. What do you guys think? Should the Chiefs trade for Robert Quinn? Type T for trade, type P for pass. Like, if you could get him for a third-round pick. Like, I feel like I would consider that if I was Brett Veach to bring him on board. T for trade, P for pass. Would you trade for Robert Quinn? Glenn Husky, do you think the Chiefs should remove Sky Moore from kickoff duties until he gets some good receiving games under his belt? He hasn't been returning kickoff. It's just been punts, but not necessarily. McCole Hardman returned punts and played receiver before this year. I think he should return punts because if not, he's not going to be playing that much. He's starting to play a little more at receiver, but I think him returning punts is a good thing because that gives him more opportunities to touch the football, make an impact on this team. So, no, I want to keep seeing him at punt return. I like seeing Isaiah Pacheco at kickoff return as well, even though he's getting more carries in the backfield. I think he's a guy I like back there. So I would not change anything on that front at this point in time. Now, something I would change if I were you is getting an account with BetUS if you don't have one already, because betting on sports is fun as hell, and I've been doing it all season. I bet on the Chiefs +1 against the Bucs. cashed in easy money, you guys can make some as well with BetUS. Go to our link below, chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Promo code Chiefs125 to get 125% deposit bonus. You look at this matchup with the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Chiefs are a 7-point favorite, over-under at 45.5. Should be rocking at Arrowhead. I love the Chiefs only being a touchdown favorite right now. If you get these odds as they sit right here, take advantage. Go put your money down. BetUS, chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Promo code Chiefs125. Deldrick Smith, which lineman had the lowest amount of pressures besides the Bucs? Versus the Bucs, sorry. I don't have the PFF numbers in front of me, the pressure numbers, so I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing Frank Clark back there much, so he continues to be quiet. You know who else we haven't talked about a ton either is Carlos Dunlap. He's been pretty quiet as well. So I don't know. I'd have to go look at that, and hopefully that improves for the players who did not generate pressure. J.D. Hollowell, who has been our top O lineman this year? It hasn't been Orlando Brown. I would say either Creed Humphrey or Joe Thuney. They've both been rock solid. Trey Smith has been pretty good, but he had a couple of bad reps against the Colts. Andrew Wiley against the Bucs, I thought played really well. I mean, obviously he's never going to be this team's best lineman, but he's more than held up at right tackle. I'll say this as a whole. Against the Bucs, the O-line played their best game by far. Orlando Brown got beat once by Shaq Barrett and another time by another edge guy, but that Bucs front is really nasty. So I thought he played better. All in all, this offensive line played so much better this week than they did last week. Shout out your city. Let us know where you guys are repping from, where you're watching from, where you rocking your Chiefs Kingdom gear. I want to know down in the comments, where is Chiefs Kingdom representing from? Shout out your city. Tony Fuentes said, I enjoyed last night's watch party. Yeah, listen, subscribe to the channel. Tony, I know you've been subscribed for a while. We will be live for another watch party this week. We cover the latest Chiefs news, rumors, post-game shows. We'll have a watch party for Monday Night Football against the Raiders. We're going to do as many of those as we can throughout this season. As long as there aren't any conflicts, we will be live. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel today. RJ with the question, who would be our wide receiver one in the future? You know, honestly, it might surprise you guys, but based on who you currently have on the roster, I think the best chance of someone being your long-term wide receiver one is probably Sky Moore, right? Because he's on a rookie deal. He's got 4 years on this contract here. Juju, 1-year deal. If he balls out the rest of the year and you re-sign him, yeah, maybe he's your wide receiver one for the next few years. Valdez-Scantling is just not a wide receiver one. He's a good secondary guy because he can get downfield and he's got that vertical speed, but he's not a number one. He doesn't run the full route tree. You know, Justin Watson, nice story, but he's not going to be a number one. McCole Hardman's not a number one. So I think Sky Moore has the best chance to be that. Now, ideally, he's your long-term number two, and you go get that alpha dog. You go find your Jamar Chase in the draft or whoever it is. That would be very nice. Cole Keller, do you see the Chiefs retaining Justin Watson? Speak of the devil. I would like to bring him back. With Juju and Hardman both hitting free agency, Watson, I think bringing him back is important because he's proven he can play snaps that matter and like be a factor for you. Been quiet the last couple of weeks, but he's capable. Like if he's your number 4 receiver, aren't you happy with that? Like he's pretty darn good. Like he's a really solid route runner. Gets open. Solid player. I like what I've seen from him. There's no doubt about it. Nick Wibkier, are Clyde and Pacheco one of the best backfield duos in the NFL right now? They were in week 4. I mean, listen, to come back after just getting shut down, and I mean shut down against the Colts. Chiefs had 23 carries for 58 yards in this game, or in that game. Against the Bucs, they ran for almost 200. CEH and Pacheco were getting downhill and just running through dudes. O-line creating some holes for them as well. They look great, man. If this can continue, then sprinkle in some Jarrett McKinnon, throw the ball to him some out of the backfield. I like where this group is going. Now, you got to build on it. It's only one game here, but outside of the Colts game, the Chiefs have actually run the ball fairly well, which is nice to see. Give me a follow on Twitter. It's at HGramNFL. If we didn't get to your questions, we apologize, but you can ask them away on Twitter at HGramNFL. Also on Instagram at HGramNFL. And remember to subscribe so you can be a part of our next mailbag here on the Chiefs Report. Let's keep growing this channel here on YouTube.